Well, in honor of Hard Eyes, the brand new slasher that is themed around Valentine's Day, that's targeting all of you couples out there. Heads up. We are like, hey, you know what would be fun? Let's do a movie review game. Let me do that again. Movie review game, if I can speak, over the one and only, an all-time classic, My Bloody Valentine. Now, we've got the OG, and then we've got a remake of that. The OG came out in 1981. Now, Drew, obviously, we know which movies we picked for this. We said before doing this that I would take OG and you would take the remake.
And I'll say, last night I watched the original for the very first time. I just have it
Oh,
have it on the brain. I'd never seen it before.
huh.
So we watched it, and I had already seen the 2009 one. I saw that in theaters, and then a few years ago, I rewatched it.
Well, all right. So as I had mentioned, the OG was released in 1981 with its scoring pretty close to the same. Critics gave it a 58% consensus on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience actually dipped below that at 52%. So this is one of those that it's kind of tricky because, we've talked about this before with it being an OG movie. The reviews for this, a little low. There are 26
Hmm.
reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. So, not a lot, but if you've read any, have you read any? Do you read any? I
I
always
didn't.
try
I
to.
didn't even know the score for the OG.
Okay, so I always try to stay away from the reading any reviews whenever we do the movie review game. So here we go. Buckle up, Drew Douglas, because it is time for the movie review game. Find the fake. You got to spot which one I have written, and that's it. So, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, get your miner's hat because starting with number one, even if it was aiming to cash in on the Valentine's Day setting, the connection to the holiday only heightens the absurd and entertaining horrors contained within its runtime. Number two, My Bloody Valentine won't make you shiver with fright, but it's almost certain to make you squirm first with irritation and then with revulsion. Number three, director George Malaka gets effectively naturalistic performances out of his leads, as well as an intermittency, eerie mood, but ultimately it's a movie enjoyed more for what it could have been than what it actually is. And the final, there's nothing new here. You could even chop it up to substandard fare exploiting another holiday. But the film's gory evocation to a slasher reverence is enough to elicit sick grins yearning for an entertaining hack.
Oh man, that one sounds legit. The second one, the revulsion thing, is catching me off guard because it wasn't that gory. I'm gonna say number two. I'm gonna lock that in. Something about that is not
Okay,
sitting right.
okay. Lock in number two, your final answer.
Hmm.
That comes to us from Tom Buckley of the New York
Dang.
Times.
What about numero one? That was my
That co-
original guess.
what clue do you? Okay, that
No,
comes to
no
us.
reason. I don't know. I just felt.
Okay, so that comes to us from Patrick Kavanagh of the
Wow.
Wolfman Cometh.
Wow. Was it, if it's number four, man, that's you did a good job.
Number four comes to you from Daniel Posey of Quality Check
Dang.
Podcast. I
And that
was
was
I, I
the first one. I'm like, that's for sure real.
as soon as you said that, I'm like, boom, there we go. I went and I was like, after there was a couple of things that I felt like were cluing you in on the last game, and I'm like, I gotta trip you up here.
That was
So I'm like,
good. So,
mm,
man, back on top. So you get a point.
woo,
It's now 6-5. But I like that because I like to know I got to stump you here. I got to hold you here, and then we're back even.
or I could pull ahead and keep that score up.
My Bloody Valentine came out, the remake, 3D, January 16th, 2009, 109 reviews. This is the shocking thing to me. And this is what made me rewatch this again a few years ago after I'd seen it in theaters way back in 2009. Critics' reviews, 62%. I don't think
That
that is very good. I watched it. I'm
no,
like, this is not
it's
a good
not.
movie.
That's
Not a good
surprising.
movie. And then moviegoers, 44%.
It seems more accurate.
Usually with a slasher film, you're gonna be more lenient with
Yeah.
moviegoers over critics. I don't understand this
Hmm.
uh the 62% at all. I don't get that. All right, are you ready for these reviews?
Hit me
My
or
bloody
slash me.
slash you. Slice and dice, baby.
Oh,
All right, number one. This film may be a remake of the 1981 classic, but it creates its own identity, carving out its own place within the horror genre. Number two, hugely enjoyable, smartly directed slasher flick with decent performances, intriguingly flawed characters, and the best 3D horror effects since the heyday of the 1950s.
these are all like outrageous.
Toss in number three. Toss in first-rate 3D, and the movie not only pays a proper homage to the 1981 original, but it kicks it up about 1,000 notches.
Hmm.
1,000 notches. And then number four. My Bloody Valentine 3D is a crowd pleaser. The perfect example of retro horror that proudly leans into the three B's of 80s horror: blood, boobs, and brutality.
That's you. I'll say that's the fake.
Are you locking it in?
The three B's at the very end makes me want to say no, but I feel like that would end up, that sounds more like you. So yeah, I'll say number four.
You think that sounds like me?
I mean, before the three B's, yeah.
That one comes courtesy of it's mine.
Oh,
It's mine.
yeah.
Gosh,
All right.
dang it.
Woo! I was thinking that you were gonna hit me with that Owen Gleiberman, that he ended up reviewing that for the Entertainment Weekly. But
And I,
yeah,
I realized something too in that last line. I had horror twice, and I read it, and I go, "Dang it!" I said the perfect example of retro horror that
yeah,
proudly leans into three B's of 80s horror. Not that that gave it away. I just read that and was like, "Crap, should
yeah.
not have
It's
said it like that."